So welcome to Art Rant. So you got a copycat and you're having a meltdown. You're shocked, you're pissed. Who the fuck does this person think they are that they can just go and take your work, your painting, your drawing, your sculpture, whatever, your idea. Basically this visual thief claims it as their own. This is very stressful for someone that's in the creative field. For a painter, it's a living nightmare. But as pissed as you are now, this is what you should do. First of all, let's think like two painters and let's talk about how this happened to you. Let's talk about who the copycat actually is, how they were able to steal your idea, why they targeted you and your work, and how you can prevent it from happening in the first place. Because it's one thing to work on the crisis and another thing is to not let it happen in the first place. Okay, so let's talk about who your copycat actually is. Because right now you're giving them talents and abilities and character traits that they definitely don't have. Because you as an artist feel threatened, and because they took your work, this person seems very powerful right now. But I can guarantee you, they are not. So put yourself in someone else's shoes. Would you yourself ever look at another painter and take their body of work? Would that be even something exciting to you as an artist in any way? I can tell you, I would never want to do that. My work, my own paintings that I'm making are most exciting to me because they're about my life, because they're like a visual diary. My paintings are made because I was moved by something. I was inspired by something in my own life. My paintings are memories that I myself had seen and lived through and mean something to me. So because my work is so influenced by my own life, and because I am so involved in the experience of living and painting about work that I know and that I've experienced, that is what I'm interested in. I could never copy another painter's work because I don't give a fuck. I don't care about whatever life they... no. Visually, I want to paint what I experience. So now think the kind of person that would... what kind of mental state you have to be in as an artist to be so starved of your own life experience. What kind of boring life you live that you are forced to shop around other artists and to take their work as your own. Damn, like, even saying that out loud, like, I feel sorry for the copycat that's doing that. I want to, like, go and tell them, like, you know, go for a walk, get out of your house, stop reading books, like, you know, live a little. Suddenly, this person with their boring life doesn't seem intimidating at all. And I guarantee that they've been doing this their whole life. You are not the first artist that they ever copied. You are not the first work that they are marketing as generated from them. You're not. Because who the copycat is, they're academic overachiever. They're someone that is so removed from self and experience of their own life and their own source of inspiration that at first it starts as very innocent. These guys are very good students. They get A+, they complete everything. If they have an assignment, they are the best. Because in schoolwork and in an assignment, they are told what to do. And if you give them instruction, they do very, very, very well. Because they study. Because they look at master artists and they start out copying those master artists. But when in school, it's okay to copy a Velázquez and be like a Velázquez fan because you are learning. But once you are out of school and you've perfected those skills, you have to forget about all the masters of the past. Because now it's time for you to grow a pair and to start developing your own style. But because these copycats are so critical and they're such perfectionists that in real life, they're cowards. All that they're good at is copying someone else that paved the way before them. Because when you copy someone else, the feedback that someone is going to give to your work doesn't really hurt that bad. Because if I'm painting in the style of Monet and someone critiques my work, it doesn't really hurt because it's not really mine. It's not really my style that's getting insulted here. It's Monet, so it's so not personal and it doesn't touch me. And I'm hiding behind the style of another master. But as these copycats get out into the real world, then they start looking around and they see that other artists are making moving work. So they turn their attention away from old masters and copying them into just full-on taking someone else's work for their own. Especially young, emerging student artists are very susceptible to that. But again, this copycat is not an individual whatsoever. They are forced to shop around for visuals. Sometimes I think that they're just in the wrong career. You can do it, you can paint, you can maybe even teach someone else how to do it, the technique, but the lifestyle that is required to generate something new as a visual artist, they don't have. So to be honest, I think that they're in the wrong field. I think they would be better for digital, commercial, a work where they have a lot of direction. So if you ask me, I think they're in the wrong field because they will never get to the level of mastership that they themselves are admiring. They will never be a master painter because master painters, they're brave, they're pioneers, they're very vulnerable with their lifestyle. They paint about what they lived through. And a copycat is just a coward. They cannot do that because first of all, they don't live a life that's exciting at all. They have no subject matter to paint about because they're buried up to their head in books. And second of all, they've never developed what they actually like and what their style is. But yet they have great ambitions from studying so much history and thinking that they themselves will one day be a master. They won't. It's like the same thing as when you look up a YouTube video and it's like one girl has 30 different voices and she can sing like this singer and this singer and this one and that. Okay, they have versatility, they can copy anyone. But does that person themselves have an album? Do they themselves have a recognizable talent? Or their only talent is to be a chameleon and to mold themselves and to adapt and to become someone else? Because they don't have a self themselves. But still, they did take your work. So how did they do that? And they took your work because there was no consequence for copying you. And because you as an artist made it available for them to steal. Because the copycat will take work from one person but won't take another's work. So they took your work because you're an emerging artist. Because your body of work is not vast enough for other people to recognize and associate your work with you specifically. It's something that's very fresh and very new and a new visual language that hasn't been seen yet, that's individual. That's why they targeted you. Because if they were copying Damien Hirst, everyone would just say, okay, this is a young artist and they're inspired by Damien Hirst, right? They don't want to hear that because they're aiming to be masters themselves without first doing the hard work and creating a life to be painted about. So because they have this master aspirations, they will target young artists who they know and will not be a threat to them. So they can just take your work and plagiarize it and just say, well, you know, young artists were actually inspired by me. So I think we talked enough shit about the copycat for you not to be scared of them anymore, right? But what can you actually do in this field where plagiarizing is common, and what you as a painter can do to be less susceptible to it? So first of all, I'm never gonna stop saying this. Work in series and hide your work until it's completely done, until your series is finished and you have like 20 to 30 paintings, because then what you're doing is you are solidifying that this style is yours. So you need to claim this style as your own and keep it to yourself. Because when will a copycat target you? When you've just come up with something original, something new. A lot of times young artists are too eager to share their inspiration, their work, something truly original and fresh. We share it way too fast, and you should not do that because there are people who are praying and shopping around for new visuals to work on themselves. Again, it's like back in school. They're looking for the next assignment. Okay, how can I paint a portrait? Let's look around. Okay, this person is doing it great, but they only have like 3 paintings in that style. Okay, great, jackpot. I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna make 20 paintings in that style and call it my own. So first of all, keep your work, especially fresh work, hidden away in series. It's okay not to show a painting for a year. It's okay to finish a series because in real life, a lot of artists work like that. If you talk to a professional artist and if you do a studio visit, most of them will say, put your phone away. I have a contract with my gallery that I cannot have any leaks of these visuals until the show. So you as a young artist need to think this way too. If you're working on a brand new series of works that you love and that are very personal to you and that are truly unique, you hide those works. No one gets to see them other than you. Because once you have a huge body of work and then someone copies you, then they are no longer inspired by your work. they are just full on copying because they can make 2, 3, 4, 5 paintings, but you already have 50. And at that point, it's very easy to call them out on it. And I know now everyone is all peaceful and they say, no, 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 just happiness and hippies and just let it be. But I'm not like that, because life experience has shown me that this does not work, because the copycat stole from you because they knew that they could, because they knew that you were too nice, that you were too polite, and that they would never be called out on it. Because if you copy my work now, I am not nice anymore. You're gonna wish you hadn't, because I will call you out on it every day. A lot of the copycats are actually in your own circle because they're getting close to you and befriending you so that they can learn more about the work to steal it. So that gives you an advantage to let everyone in your circle know, and all your mutual friends know, who this person actually is, and that you see right through them and call them out on it. And I'm not promoting some kind of aggression here, but you need to let them know, because the reason that they're taking work from you is because in the end you are too sweet and too nice and too unconfrontational. And here's an example of what I mean. I don't mean to be like a threatening and harassing to them, but here's a good way that you can call them out on it. If you're at a gallery opening, a show, and you see them and you're with a mutual group of friends, say it in front of everyone. Oh, I like your new work. It looks so, I see, like, thank you. I'm so flattered that my work moved you so much and that you're so inspired and that now you too are making work like it. Say it. It's great. They're gonna have their tail between their legs in no time, because in the end, everyone knows everything, and the copycat themselves knows that they don't have anything to paint about. They know that they are stealing your ideas. They know it. And they're almost expecting someone to call them out. So you do that. You let everyone know that they are very deeply inspired by your work. Because then they're gonna know that, okay, this is too much trouble for me. Like, I'm gonna be a master painter and I can't let someone say that about me. Okay, I'm gonna shop around for someone else to copy. So let the copycat know publicly that you are no one to be messed with. That if they copy your work, there's gonna be consequence for them. And last, I wanna congratulate you that you have someone that's copying your work, because that is a sure sign that you are on your way to be a master in your field. Think about it. Give yourself credit instead of the copycat. Like, hats off to you. You made work and a visual aesthetic that's so powerful that it moved someone else to copy it, to claim it as their own. Good job. You did it. You, as a visual artist, have a gift. You are living a life that you are creating work about that's unique, that's moving, that's beautiful. Basically, you have arrived as a visual artist because you have the most important thing, which is not skill, which is not making A+ assignments. What you have is the #1 thing that is required to be a professional artist. You are living a life that is worth painting about. And because you have this gift to make something original, you're always gonna have copycats and fans, and that's just part of the job. So be proud of yourself that you came up with something so good that other people want to claim it as their own. So now just create more, because you are very gifted, and you're gonna have many more series, because the hardest work you've already figured out how to do. You've already created a life worth painting about. You have subject matter. You are a real artist, a real painter. So just work in series, keep your stuff under wraps. If someone copies you, call them out on it publicly, and just make more work. Don't stress. See the copycat for what they are, and just keep making and painting more work, because you have what it takes to be a master.